Hi everyone! Today we are going to talk about triangles. And our essential question is, what are different kinds of triangles? So before we actually talk about the names of different triangles, let's look at what really makes up the triangles. So the first thing that all triangles have in common is that they are two-dimensional. Two-dimensional simply means that they are flat. They are not a 3D shape like a pyramid. They are just flat. We also want to remember that all triangles have three vertices. Now you may be asking, what are vertices? Vertices are simply where the two lines come together on a triangle to form a point. And if we call each one individually, we would call it a vertex. So you can label that down below on this triangle. So we have one vertex, two vertices, three vertices. We also want to remember that all triangles have three sides. If they do not have three sides, they are not a triangle. And the sides are all line segments. You can see that on our triangle down below here. Notice that there is no arrow on each of these ends here. You just talk about the points between here and here. That is a line segment, a line segment, a line segment. And if we so chose, we could even label the line segments at the vertices, just like this. Another point we need to remember is that all triangles have three angles. Now make sure you write angles and not angels. The words are very similar. And each angle is formed by two sides. So if we look at our triangle right here, this side right here and this side come together to make our angle. And you can also label our side. So you can see that we have 1, 2, 3 vertices, 1, 2, 3 sides, and an angle here, an angle here, and an angle here. So we actually have three angles as well. Those three are what make it a triangle. So now let's talk about the different kinds of triangles. At the bottom of your page, I have shown you 4 different kinds of triangles. Our first kind of triangle is an equilateral triangle. Now this sounds like a really fancy triangle, but it's really quite simple if you look at the word. Take a look at this first part of the word, equal. This one tells us that all sides and angles are equal, just like an equilateral triangle. So this side, and this side will all be the same length. This angle, and this angle are all going to be the same size, the same degrees. Sometimes you're going to find a large triangle, but if all the sides are the same length, it's still considered an equilateral triangle. The next triangle on here is an isosceles triangle. An isosceles triangle has two sides that are equal. So on this one you can see that this top side right here and this one over here, they're the same size, but the bottom one is longer. So this was an isosceles triangle. Our third one is a scalene. On a scalene triangle, no sides are equal. So take a look at our example. We have a short one, kind of a medium-sized side, and a long side. So none of these are the same. They are called scalene triangles. Our very last triangle is a very special triangle. This one is called a right triangle. And it has a right angle. The right angle is the one that has a line going straight down like this and another one coming straight off of it. So you have the two sides meeting like this. And if I were to see it, sometimes you'll see this little square drawn on here too, showing you that that is a right angle. If a triangle has a right angle, you know it's a right triangle. One way to figure out if it is a right triangle is to take a piece of paper that has a nice square corner on it. If you can take that square corner and line it right up with those sides, you know it's a right triangle. The other triangles cannot do that. There are no other triangles that have the two sides just like this one that can line up and make that perfect corner just like that. So that's your little trick to know if it's a right triangle or not. Okay, so we've talked about quite a bit today. We've talked about triangles being two-dimensional, which means they are flat. We've talked about triangles having 3 vertices, that they have 3 sides, and the sides are all line segments. We've talked about them having 3 angles, and each angle is formed by 2 sides. We had a chance to label our triangle, and we got to talk about equilateral, isosceles, scalene, and right triangles. On the back of your paper, you're going to get an opportunity to draw some of these triangles. So, on these lines right here, I would like you to write the type of the triangles that you need to draw. Right below this first line, you're going to draw a right triangle. On the one next to it, you're going to draw an equilateral triangle. Down below, an isosceles triangle. And below our last one, a scalene triangle. So just draw the shape, the triangles right below each of these names. At the bottom part of your paper, you just need to label the following triangles. Now don't let these confuse you. I have rotated these triangles, but they're still triangles because they still have the 3 vertices, the 3 sides, and the 3 angles. It does not matter which direction these triangles are sitting, as long as they have those 3 vertices, 3 sides, and 3 angles, they are considered triangles. So go ahead and just write the names of the triangles on these lines that match the one that's above it. Then don't forget to go back, write your 2 questions and your summary. Have a great night.